in the top left, where MAXPAX is currently spawning as the red Protoss. In the opposite corner is the blue Terran, playing for Team Good Game Gaming. It is Dream. Alright. First match of our first set. I'm kind of expecting the Protoss player to be the aggressive one in this first set. Not really expecting Dream to change things too much. He's not one of those players who kind of wants to show his hand too early in the series. He's probably keeping his most aggressive playstyle for the second map. Here we're seeing both players kind of started off with structures in their own main bases, which is already an accomplishment, knowing how good Dream's proxies can be and how crazy MAXPAX proxies can be. So, already something that says a lot about how these two players want to approach this first best of two. Usual Protoss to make sure Dream has to spend some of his own APM to keep the scouting at bay, while MAXPAX get scouted by an SCV. And we'll start it off with a very standard gateway opener, gateway expand opener, of course. Yeah, good start, not proxy. So I guess that even MAXPAX is keeping some of his own most aggressive builds for when it is really needed. Oh, double expand for Dream. That is interesting. We see, of course, the second Rex coming up with a Twilight Council on the side of MAXPAX, just probably for pulling Stalkers with a Robo follow-up soon after. Not expecting anything too off the book, really. More concerned with Dream's opener. 3 command centers can be still kind of an aggressive build if Dream decides to go for a drop or a push early on with a lot of Marines, which are kind of needed for defense. But of course, it is still considered to be a kind of a greedy opener, and I'm very surprised to see this kind of opener played against a player such as MAXPAX. Of course, Steam is gonna be kind of on the early side, but it still will struggle a little bit against what MAXPAX is doing right now. We see a Dark Shrine here in the top left in the production tab. It's going to be an interesting one. That's what the War Prism is for. It's gonna be some kind of Arcane drop, probably just gonna try to do as much damage as possible with the Dark Templars. Dream kind of needs to understand this is a possibility. He needs to keep his scans, he needs to keep the energy topped on his command centers, on his orbital commands. And of course, it can be very difficult to handle if this gets going. It's kind of this snowball build, which can get increased damage over time. And we see Dream being very careful about it, already acknowledging this is a possibility. Missile turret in the natural, with the NG bay already being up. Very, very good game plan on the side of Dream. Beautiful timing on the missile turret in the main. A scan is needed, but the Templar will be saved by the War Prism. 4 SCVs have been killed. Not crazy damage this far, but still, we see MAXPAX trying to put the throttle on the aggression. 2 Archon being moved on now. Blink started back home. And we can already see what is kind of the leitmotif of this best of 2 between those two players. On one side, MAXPAX really going ham on the aggression. These two Archons actually getting a lot of damage. With only Marines back home for defense, these Archons can really deal a lot of damage. Dealing increased damage to bio units, of course. It's gonna mean that if these Marines are stacked like they are right now, it's gonna deal so much damage. These Archons, very low. Oh my god, one of the Archon actually falls. Very low on health, both of them. One of them actually falls. I wouldn't call it a disaster from MAXPAX, but losing an Archon, of course, doesn't really help him getting into a later stage of the game in which he wants to have a strong army to follow up this kind of attack. Dream, on the other side, is gonna have an explosion in supply very quickly, doubling it down on the production of his own. But MAXPAX doesn't want that to happen without his own army growing very quickly. 5 gateways on the making, and of course this is kind of obvious because of the expansion in the third that has come up for MAXPAX. But still, these Blink Stalkers want to get something, want to get at least cutting information. But in the hands of MAXPAX, this can mean something more. This player is insanely aggressive. He can easily go deep into the base of Dream, and that is exactly what he's trying to do. Forcing the lift out of this Orbiter Command. And these Blink Stalkers are getting nasty. No repair on that command center, not yet. Here comes the army of Dream. One of the Archon immediately falls. No War Prism to help with this, but the Blink Stalkers will just blink out of the way. And I'm more concerned with the Orbiter Command right now. It is safe and sound. One SCP was used for repair. 1 mil was used for repair. But these two medivacs don't have a lot of energy. This army cannot fight these Stalkers head on without more medivacs. But it looks like Dream has found a way to get a hold of his own third base. Oh, the War Prism tries to do something. Vikings are a little bit out of position, and these Blink Stalkers are getting in the way of Dream at his own build. Missile turret is going to fall, as well as a bunch of fire units. The missile turret will get the War Prism. A little bit of a misplay on the side of MAXPAX. His aggression, though, it's really paying off. He's really getting a head start into the mid-game army that he wants to build up upon. Extended Thermal Lines in the making, while the Templar Archives is going up. Even a 4th base is on the way for MAXPAX, and this is kind of an odd thing to remember, but the Protoss player is the one who has more workers early on. Then it kind of will get difficult for the Protoss to keep up with other races' production for the workers. This is not the case here. Dream just barely has surpassed his opponent in workers, and now with a 4th base, I think MAXPAX is going to have a very strong economy, and he's gonna rely mostly on gateway units. Dream is getting his own strong army, is being able to handle the storm this far, but we see MAXPAX still being as aggressive as he can possibly be, while building up a strong backbone for his army. Templars, are High Templars of course, are going to be started. I think Storm is not on the way, is not been done yet. It's probably going to be on the way very soon. But for now, these Templars are going to be used to have some Archons to bulk up the front-to-back army that MAXPAX is building up. Dream tries to bring up some aggression with a Widow Mine drop, which is not going to have a lot of success. Meanwhile, the two armies are clashing on the left side of the map. Not really much to be done. While the photon cannon kicks the mineral line of MAXPAX safe. Dream kind of forced to retreat, taking some forced losses, while the first disruptor gets started for MAXPAX. Oh, this Protoss player can be so unpredictable, dark Shrine starting the Shadow Stride upgrade. Oh my, oh my. DT Blink to keep up the aggression. And MAXPAX doesn't want his opponent to take control on the map. These Colossi finding a perfect spot to fight upon. The Vikings, of course, are gonna be faced by the Stalkers. Meanwhile, the rest of the Bio Army of Dream is retreating in the natural. Colossi yet to find a counter. A strong one in the Army of Dream. EMP goes on top of the Army of MAXPAX, but is not upgraded yet. Is not as strong as Dream would like it to be. These Colossi getting so much damage on the Bio Army of Dream. Vikings shooed away by the Stalkers. And MAXPAX will retreat to fight for another day, going into the fur base and get as much damage as possible over there. First Disruptor is getting over here. Disruption Nova gets on top of the Bio Army, doesn't connect, but so many workers are falling one after the other. The Army of Dream tries to collapse onto the one of MAXPAX, and he's going to take a very good engagement. This goes very much keeping Dream alive. And now MAXPAX is forced to retreat, but Dream paid a very heavy price for these 25 workers down. And now he's at 46 against 82. Incredibly scary attack by MAXPAX. But the game is not over yet. Dream still has a powerful army and wants to do something with it, breaking those rocks and trying to get into the third base, or fourth base more like, of MAXPAX and get some damage of his own. Meanwhile, the Protoss player, 5 Archons in the making. My goodness, look at this knife going on top of Zealots. It looks like Dream is going to take everything he can. Not having energy for a Shockwave EMP is going to be kind of bad for him, but he still wants to be proactive, he still wants to be on the map, he still wants to get something done. Because the disadvantage in economy right now is through the roof. 30 workers advantage for the Protoss player. 1 base ahead for such a long time. +3/+3 just started by Dream. But is it going to be enough if there is one player who can come back from such a disastrous scenario? That player is Dream. Widowmines gonna try to keep this Archon's energy, this Archon's shield as low as possible. Meanwhile, Dream trying to get some aggression on the top right. But these Dark Templars with Shadow Stride are not gonna allow Dream to get a 4th base. Beautiful game by MAXPAX this far. Really difficult to make a player such as Dream top. Oh my god, that catch on those Dark Templars was nuts. Very good catch by Dream. His army is still a little bit too bruised. Not a lot of medivacs to keep this health up for the Bio Army. Shockwave is trying to get on top of as many Archons as possible. Not gonna connect 2 big ones. These Colossi are still very much scary enough to keep the Army of Dream away from his possible 4th base. But Dream wants to get something done here on the top right. It looks like Pax is not really caring too much about this. Gonna just warp in a bunch of Dark Templars. Oh my goodness. I'm not too sure if that was the right decision, but I guess it was, because the Army of Dream was completely cleared. Meanwhile, in the home base of Dream, there is a bunch of Protoss units doing everything MAXPAX wants. These Disruptors keeping everything at bay. Another great connection with 1 Purification Nova, while the Colossi keep it up with the AoE damage, Stalkers and Zealots in the top right. And this is definitely going to be GG. Alright, top right hand corner is where the blue Terran for Good Game Gaming is spawning. This is Dream. Bottom left hand corner instead, hailing from Norway, I think, is Team X's Protoss MAXPAX. Yeah, it is Norway. Alright, alright. No one was expecting MAXPAX to pull out a macro game, but he certainly did it with style. Starting off with Wolof on the Reaper Cliff. And once again, I think this is a little bit too late for the MAXPAX build. The second pylon should be out a little bit sooner. So we're not gonna see any zealot shenanigans trying to force a console on the command center. But this time, again, I'm more interested in how Dream wants to get the map pressure he needs to shine. We've seen MAXPAX pretty much overcome his opponent by just putting a lot of pressure, and Dream never finding a way to get control of the map. This time, I think Dream wants to do things differently. I think he wants to go for a little bit more an aggressive kind of build, not going to pull back with a free command center build, especially in Oxide. I may be wrong, but I'm very curious actually. It's going to be a factory before the reactor actually, so already a little bit of an interesting rush on the side of Dream. Not going to put too much attention on scouting and trying to build a backbone for defense before anything else. And it is probably going to be some kind of Widowmine drop, which is a very safe way to get scouting information and a little bit of damage if possible. Of course, keeping a bunker back home to allow an easy defense against Blink Stalkers without losing too much. It's going to be 2 aliens actually. And oh yeah, this is definitely an alien drop instead, with a starport being proxied here on the left hand side of the map. MAXPAX pretty much building on the same principles of another Dark Templar opener, with the Twilight Council and the Robo pretty much going with, not the Dark Council, what is the Dark Council? With the Twilight Council and the Robo going up pretty much at the same time. No Dark Shrine this time, it's going to be just Blink with a Robo to get some vision with the Observer. Dream on the other side, already sending his first few aliens out, while MAXPAX gets a very good scouting information over here, catching the aliens move out on the left side of the map. Already is a big tell of what is about to happen. But what does MAXPAX have back home? He just has this one Stalker. There's not really much to stop this alien drop. And we see Dream pretty much uncontested, getting in the mineral line. Already 4, 5, 7 probes, 10 and counting. Oh, this is starting to be a little bit rough on the edges for MAXPAX, to say the least. These aliens going rampage on the mineral lines of MAXPAX. 23 probes have been killed this early in the game. That is a death sentence for the Protoss player. Very by the book play by Dream, but still, look at this, 28 probes. It's gonna reset MAXPAX count to 28. I'm not a fan of probes. I'm not the first people who likes probes in this planet. But man, that was brutal. 28 kills by Dream. And now Blink Stalkers will try to bring this game back to an even state. But it might be too late for that. Blink into the main. But there's already a tank sieged up, ready to greet those. It's going to be GG.